What's up, my English friends? What's up? I'm gonna do the thing. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. The world's ending. Everyone's lost their goddamn mind. Might as well drink whiskey and play some guitar. Talk shit while we're at it. I got roped into teaching 2 classes tomorrow. So I gotta go to sleep kinda early. Excuse me. Is the thing thinking? Let's see if the thing is thinking. Oh boy. Probably should have warmed up. I probably should warm up before I get on the stream so I don't play like shit, but I never do. Gotta lube it up. You don't want to do it dry. Oh god, that spray. Alright, do we have anything up from last time? No, we didn't leave anything open. Oh, great. What's this? Oh, shred stuff. Okay. I just saved a bunch of random ones and I don't remember which are which. Let's find something completely. What's this? It's the mix. Cat hair. What's this? G minor? Okay. What's G minor? Oh, this sounds like shit. Probably should fucking find something easy to warm up with, but I guess jumping right into this shit is probably the easiest way. Just jump right into the shit. Who needs a fucking warm up? Okay, I'm lying. I need a fucking warm up. I was shitty. I missed a lot of notes in easy key, but it's okay. I just got here. Now I got whiskey all over my fucking hand. Okay. I kind of want to do that one again now that I'm like kind of warmed up and not completely shitbagging because I really took a shit on that. At least the sound works. Someone said, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" I'm just getting warmed up. Gotta get the grease out of my knuckles. Tongo Play Store. Oh, cool. Is that where you get like the AI girlfriends? Your grandpa passed, bro? I'm sorry to hear that. We'll stop and have a shot for you. All my grandparents have passed. I know how it is, bro. Yeah, you don't have to know me well enough to know the fucking grandparents are the cool ones. It's the parents that suck. And you always wish they took the parents first. Oh, 87. Fuck, man. We gotta pray that we live that long. Hopefully, fucking, My grandmother died on my birthday. So, that's I know how it is. He was 76, I think it was. I'll tell you a story about my grandma dying, because that might help you. Hey, Hoppy, you want to say hi? So, I had a dream. I haven't seen my grandfather since I was like 8 when my grandfather died, right? My grandfather died. I have a dream 2 weeks before my grandmother dies that my grandfather pops up and he says, when your grandmother leaves, you'll be a man. And then 2 days later, I get a call from my mother. I had a dream that your grandfather said he's coming to pick up your grandmother. So then 2 days before my birthday, I go with my ex-fiance, and I had just finished setting up my business. I had business cards, everything like that, and fucking finally did all the things, And I went to her spot. I went and bought her breakfast, at lunch, and fucking gave her money like I always do. And then I showed her my business cards, and I was getting engaged, the whole fucking thing. And I still have the picture on my altar. The only picture I have of me and my grandmother, the last one. The last time I've ever seen her alive. 2 days later on my birthday, I didn't want to bother her because I was like, I didn't want her to think she had to buy me anything, So I was like, I just stay up by myself on my birthday. I never celebrate my birthday. And I get a call, like around 9, 10 o'clock, my grandmother died. Now, here's the crazy part. So she was with my uncle. It was like 100 degrees outside. It was July. And he goes to, she goes to the house, he walks to the house, he goes, go to the store and give me something to drink. She calls my mother and says, okay, it's time. And my mother told her to put her makeup on. So my grandmother puts her fucking lipstick on, sits in a chair, and goes to sleep sitting up like a fucking monk. All right? So, if it makes you feel any better, I can tell you that there's definitely something after if you aren't a scumbag. So, rest in peace, Grandpa. But it's a true fucking story. On my word. So I don't know if it made you feel any better, but that's a true story. Yes, Appa. So unless he was like a chomo or like a fucking really evil son of a bitch, he didn't really go far. So I, just hope that he went out peacefully. Yeah, here's first a shot for Grandpa, one for Grandma. Well, I guess the shit show must go on. Let's go back to fucking shredding what the fuck this is. Appa, what up? No, you ain't spoiling my life. What the fuck am I doing? I'm fucking drinking whiskey and making fucking noise. The girl went down to bring his food down to feed him. Yeah, bro, that's how it happens, man. Like, you know, it is what it is. You know, but I gotta be honest with you. Of all the ways to go out, that's the best way. And the good ones go out comfortable in their house with their family. And that's like the way things work here. You know, like if you're a piece of shit, you know, you usually have a very slow, fucked up way to go, you know, put in a fucking place you shouldn't be. Good ones go out quick and they go out comfortable. You know? Like where would be a better place to go out than your house? Like my karate teacher, see, he was on the death watch. He died on September 11th, okay? So everybody in my family dies on a holiday, so I can always fucking remember them. And you know, he basically raised me. And when he was on like the death watch, you know, one of the students that was taking rotation staying at the house, and he told the guys, like, if anything happens, call me first, right? So we were keeping him alive for like years, you know? And he was like a grumpy old Vietnam vet, drill sergeant asshole. And he was dying of emphysema. And he's in his house. He refused to be in the hospital, the VA shit. So before he this fucking asshole, he goes to me, he gets to the bathroom, he goes, hey, how you doing? You know, you're right? He goes, let me go. This is his last words. And he makes like, go where? And he goes, just let me go. And then he goes into the room to lay down. And then I got the call, like 4:30 in the morning. And I got on my motorcycle and I was doing like 140 in Brooklyn. I blew every fucking light. I got there in like 3 or 4 minutes, okay? I got there just as he died. It was fucking crazy. Trust me, I know the feeling, you know? Like, my grandmother, like, I should have went, you know? But I did what I could, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's okay to feel a little guilty because it's like, you know, pride, guilt, and shame is what keeps people honorable. You know what I mean? And it's not like something you should remember as like a lesson to like know that impermanence. Like you watch my martial arts channel, you should be following Buddhism and Taoism, and the first thing it teaches is impermanence. Everything can be gone like that. That's why so many people, like when I talk about God, I don't talk about God in like a Christian sense, you know? Like spirituality, you have to have some form of spirituality. And like if you look at like the modern like left of center people, they're godless. And when you're godless, you worship death and you worship fucking like, you know, evil shit. And you don't realize how fragile and quick things can turn, you know? And I noticed that like whenever the people leave like that, they leave you with a lesson. You know, it's like that's how you remember. You know, so yeah, it's okay to feel guilty. You know, it's good, but what you should remember is that now, with the people that are still left, are you going to be an asshole? That's why there's so many fucking jerk offs. Like look at the Tai Chi community, how many and the fucking boomers, how they ruin everything, and then it just trickle down. And you know, where's this come from? Because most of these people never got punched in the face before. Look at this thing that happened with this fucking white boy, fucking conservative guy. He just got shot in the fucking face. And, you know, like these people like, someone got, you know. And you can tell these are old people that never had any real loss in their life. You know, they have no real grasp of what reality is. You know? Bro, it's weird, man. Some people, genetics, man, they just get away with that shit. You know, some people eat hot dogs their whole fucking life and they're fine, and other people, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's fucking crazy. But it's like, it really comes down to like how much gratitude you have and how much like you actually give a shit. You know, like people who live a long time and they live well, they actually, like, you see that they're very grateful. Like, gratitude's a superpower. That's what it comes down to. And it's like, you know, because this machine and the whole fucking matrix, it's based on like free will and your thought. And if you have shitty fucking thoughts, you have a shitty experience. You know what I mean? And like, you'd be surprised how having a good family around you will beat a lot of weird things. Like, things that should kill you don't kill you, Like, if it's not your time to go, it's not your time to go. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, But, it's... But what I can tell you is that, like, you gotta take these things as a... You gotta look at the good stuff and be grateful, because honestly, a lot of people don't have 87 years of grandpa. You know what I mean? And then grandpa being at home. Your grandpa could have been in a fucking hospital getting poked, and fucking the hospital fucking torturing him to make money, or all kinds of shit he doesn't fucking need, and God only knows, you know what I mean? Oh, how they feel? They feel like shit. So, actually, the second day I came and played again, and then, like I told you, when you get the blisters, you gotta like press them, and then they get hard, and the blister underneath like dies down. So right now they're like hard, but they're not hurting anymore. But my nails are kind of getting fucked up. So I gotta do the chick thing, and I guess I should file them like a little Asian girl. That's what I should be doing, because I cut them before I started the stream. Yeah. And you see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's why it's like as fucked up as it is. My grandma's on my birthday. I get like my grandfather comes to me in a dream, tells me he's going. You know what I mean? I showed her I was safe and I was taking care of her, everything. I was taking care of everybody. And then she goes home in her chair with her son, sends him out so she doesn't have to be there, puts her makeup on and sits in her chair and goes to sleep. I mean, it's like you can't really ask for more than that. Like. And it sounds fucked up, and some people say that's callous, and but when you look at the grand scheme of reality, I've dealt with a lot of dead people, I've cut a lot of dead bodies in my life, So it's like, when you see how things can go and how people can go out, when someone's at that age, the only thing you could ask for is that their last moments are in a house with people they care about, comfortable, you know what I mean? They have their favorite meal, they watch TV, they see their grandson, they see their their daughter or whatever. And then they go to sleep. It's like, that's the only thing we can ask for. You know what I mean? The problem is that, like, the people that run this world, they corrupt all the spirituality, and like, you have to be smart enough to be able to read through the religious text and look at it and skim through it and get the overview and not get sucked into one thing, because that's when they'll fucking trick your brain. But when you see the big picture, it's like, oh, I get it. Like, what more could we ask for than our fucking, that they go, like, comfortable in their house, like, Yeah, women do that. They're good for that, But the best thing you can do is just like, you make up. You do what Grandpa would do, is like you be the man and you take care of Grandma until it's her time. That's what we do. And and like, I'm saying this hard. Don't be a little bitch. You know what I mean? In the sense that like you have to be the stable one, because that's. They're gonna cancel me on top of cancel for saying this, but there's masculine and feminine energy, and like your job is to maintain your frame so that she doesn't overspill and go fucking nuts, and that's what a guy's job is like, to contain like the fucking super feminine emotion spilling out of the fucking cup. It's a shitty fucking job, but at least you'll feel like you have your honor, and that's what Grandpa would want, right? That's how we handle shit. Like, being a man sucks. You gotta eat shit. it's good to mourn, but like the problem is that people don't want to accept how our bodies genetically handle different things, and men aren't meant to mourn like a woman. You understand? If you allow yourself to let your emotions carry out like a woman would, we're not meant to handle that. And that's why you see so much like crazy violence in like the males in like the ghettos, because they're raised by women. So like we're not meant to handle emotion like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up, but we have to eat shit in order to like maintain order. So it's like you have to find ways of like mourning without like losing your shit, because our job is to maintain order. And that means eating shit. You understand? And it sucks, you know what I mean? But the way that a man should handle things is like practice gratitude. I know it sounds kind of cheesy and corny, but you have to reframe the thing. Well, at least he went, this way. At least I have a chance to take care of my grandmother and be there for her. And you gotta reframe everything into a place of how can I be grateful for the thing I can do next? Like performing duties. Because that's what we're genetically designed to do. And when you go outside the genetic, it doesn't matter if you're like gay or straight, whatever. You have genes, and your genes are designed to handle certain things a certain way. And we have to default to that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have male genes, you have to know that like even if you're fucking wearing a dress, when shit goes down, your brain is not meant to handle things in a feminine way. And if you do it that way, you're gonna have fucking problems because you're not designed to handle it. You know what I mean? It's like, we gotta be honest. And in those kind of fucking times, you have to say, what is my duty? And that's how you get handle shit. Like, what's my fucking duty right now? What's the next thing I have to do to like, do the right thing? Like, if nobody's looking, what's the right thing to do? Well, crying is not the problem. Like, if you have to fucking cry, cry. Some guys, that's not the problem. The problem is, what are you gonna do? Because if you just cry, you're gonna fall into this hyper feminine side, and then you're gonna break apart, and you're either gonna become violent, or like self-destructive, or useless. Because all this spilling energy isn't being used, right? It's like when I teach, like, fear and excitement are the same energy. If you go to a fucking roller coaster and look at the roller coaster, you could be excited or afraid, the same energy, right? But you take that same chemical energy and you go and you either do something or you run away. When a man has that kind of energy, if you don't put it into duty, you will wind up being overloaded. So the way to handle it is to find out what's my next purpose, right? And that's fucked up to say it like this because it sounds like I'm insensitive. But I'm telling you from my experience and coaching dudes and being through crazy shit, how I survived alone through craziness, carrying other idiots on my back is this. Having feelings is not the same as becoming a ball of emotion that's completely dysfunctional. You know what I mean? And when guys are in a position like that, you have to like figure out what's my next goal? How do I do the next right thing? If you're in a fucking shitstorm, let's just say they're in a fucking place where something really bad happens, you can't freeze. You have to figure out what's my thing. Do I have to fucking protect people? Do I have to escape? How do I, what's the next thing? And when you start following this genetic code, at least you'll be able to like function. Whereas if you try to just sit in mourning and talk about this Freudian bullshit, you're gonna sit there and just talk about your problem, and then you get caught in this trauma loop. And men are not meant to process emotions like that. So you'll wind up getting fucked. Right. You have to figure out what's the next thing I can do to show gratitude for my clan, or that the fact that I'm still here and I can do something else. You know what I mean? Like, or how do you like honor the person's memory? What would he want you to do? Would Grandpa, who's 86, fucking, lived through the fucking silent generation, the fucking Korean War and Vietnam, he's not gonna want you to sit in the fucking corner in a fucking safe space crying in a fucking cry closet. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to cry at a funeral if you're a guy. That's not the fucking problem. I mean, that's all you're gonna do and to sit there and fucking be overwhelmed by your shit, that's feminine energy. And there's nothing wrong with being feminine, but when you're in a physical male body, your brain cannot process that kind of energy in that way. And that's where people get fucked over. Because you're not looking at the biological system of how these chemicals affect the system. Like a woman can process these emotions and talk through stuff and like blah, 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 blah. They process more words per minute than we do. You know what I mean? And they're meant to sit in a group of women and cackle and like they talk about their problems. They don't even care if there's a solution as long as they felt heard. We're not like that. We need a logical solution and we need to know 2 + 2 is 4. And it sounds fucked up, but taking that energy and like occupying your mind with tasks and things that you can do to make a situation better. Even if it's just like washing the dishes for your grandmother or like taking her somewhere and doing something, having that duty is going to be the thing that helps you. You know, that's my advice, you know. And, you know, I can just tell you from life experience, that's how I survive shit, is practice gratitude and do the right thing when no one's looking. That's all there is. You know what I mean? Because then, at least you can go to sleep with no fucking... I never went to sleep with guilt, because I've never fucked anybody over, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like, you know, certain things I wish I could have, but like nothing like, oh, I just robbed grandpa's fucking life savings and he died. You know what I mean? It would have been nice if you went to the store with him, you know, but you know what? You not going to the store with him might have been a good thing, because what if he would have fucking crashed out in the middle of the store? It might have just been your intuition telling you, no, I should stay home today. And sometimes we don't realize why we make decisions like that, but intuition's a thing. And, you know, somewhere inside you probably knew. There's a weird feeling that comes over people when something, and you don't really notice because that's used to your intuition. But it's kind of like a weird feeling, and it's like if you really pay attention, you feel it, and you can identify it. You know? Actually, you know, I don't know if that's true. Now, pain will help sometimes people have sympathy for others, but not always. Because look, what it will teach is consequence. Like, right now we have a whole generation of people who are like soft parenting, fucking, you know, participation awards, brainwashed by fucking Marxism and communism, whatever the fuck's going on here, you know, and like desensitized by fucking internet fucking bullshit, who are like happy that some white boy got shot in the throat, you know? And there's not a way to teach people empathy, like, you know, to put yourself in someone's situation and feel it with them, right? Sympathy is like, I've been in a situation, I understand you. You know what I mean? You know, but what you can teach them is consequence. Like, oh shit, if that happens to them, it can happen to me. That's a fucked up thing, you know? But you can't teach empathy. I think after a certain age, I don't know if it's even possible. You know what I mean? I think it's a miracle that only the gods can fucking fix. And that's just my experience, you know what I mean? I was always like the superhero, you know, the anti-hero guy. Like, I always tried to live the Buddhist life and like do the right thing. And, you know, I was like a fucking martyr. Let me tell you something. Hundreds of people I've done, and I've tried and like I've never seen anyone change. You can't love someone out of evil. When people are fucking demonic, there's no amount of goodness that will take them out of it. It'll actually make them hate you more. Like, the better you are to them and the nicer you are, like, the more you try to succeed and be a good example, they'll fucking hate you more because it's a mirror to what they're not doing. You know? So I don't know. But yeah, I don't think pain helps anybody. You know? I think that I was talking to Sifa Show about this. It's like, there's two types of people. There's people who live in gratitude and people who live in like this fucking selfish void, you know? And it's like, there's two rule sets. And the people who are like good people, you can, like, if they make a mistake, you go, oh, I'll get you. It's like, for instance, like, let's just say we got into an argument, you know? And I'm like, you know what, bro? It's whatever. I'll buy you a fucking beer or a burger or whatever the fuck you eat, you know? And you may feel guilty, like, oh, you know what? He's being nice to me even though he's an asshole. Maybe I should be nicer. And then you have other people who, like, they'll fuck up, like, you know what? I'll help you. Come on, man. I'll buy you a beer. And they take that as, like, you're rewarding bad behavior. And they'll take advantage of you and they'll think you're weak. And they'll fucking rob you and fuck you over. And no matter how much you try to love those people, they're going to fucking stab you in the face. And I think that something happens before teenage years where it's like that switch is made. And you have to recognize the difference between these two people. There's like left and right hand path. And when you see that kind of person, stay the fuck away from them. There's no teaching them. There's no teaching them. Well, what is empathy? Empathy is I can put myself in your situation and feel your pain, or there's psychic empathy when I can actually feel your energy and feel the person's energy. And those are two separate things. But I don't think pain teaches that. What actually teaches that is gratitude and awareness and like being able to split the mind from the ego and observer and doing like basic meditation. When you actually learn the meditation, then you learn real empathy. What you're talking about maybe sympathy. Right? Sympathy is when like, I can rationalize what that situation is like, but I don't actually feel what you're feeling. Whereas like empathy is like, I feel the sorrow with you. Like I'm there with you. And that's something you can't do logically. You know what I mean? There has to be a break in the way that, like in the Buddhism you teach it, like, you know, it's like the observer mind and the ego mind, you separate them and then you actually start paying attention and you can link externally. Most people are so in their internal world, they don't even understand that that's a thing. So when you're talking about sympathy, oh, to give an action to give or withhold because love isn't always good feelings. You know, love is narcissism. I mean, and that's why I go back to gratitude. It's like the thing is like understanding what gratitude really means. You know, everybody who I've ever known who said they love me or, you know, I mean, they don't really understand that. They don't link the word love to gratitude. They link the word love to a transactional relationship where it's me versus that person and what am I getting in transaction and how do I keep the balance where it's either equal or I get more than you. And if you don't fulfill this shadow contract need, fuck you. Because love backwards is evil, right? So it's very tricky because you gotta understand the words don't mean the same thing to every person. Like if I say that, you know, this is green, you may be colorblind and see it as orange. You know what I mean? And but what I can tell you from my experience is that most people in the Western world, when they say they love something, they say that like in a very transactional me versus you way, and that you're fulfilling some kind of purpose in transaction. It's not like this gratitude thing where you have like a family and you're just, you know, happy that they're there. You know what I mean? Most people don't align the word to that. Of course there's lessons you can learn without pain. You know, it just depends how self-aware you are and how stupid you are. The universe only forces you to listen to pain when it's like the universe is fucking a fucking computer program, you know? And it's like there'll be signs. They'll tell you, you should not hang out with that person. I'm warning you, okay, you should leave that person. Like, listen, motherfucker. And then you'll be like, no, I can do it, blah, blah, blah. He's my, you know? Like your addict friend. They're like, hey, you know? And then like, they rob you, you know, then they fucking wind up getting, you know, you locked up. Next thing you know, they're trying to kill you. Or they just like break the whole relationship. The universe will come in and they'll smack you in the hand and they'll fucking pimp smack you. I mean, some lessons you have to learn through pain, I guess, but most you don't. Most you can learn from watching other fucking people, just paying attention, not being an idiot. You know what I mean? It's just when people go so far away from like what like nature and God is, there's nothing left. Because when you live in the left-hand path and all you know is anti-nature and anti-order and anti-everything, the only thing you're going to learn through is fucking pain. And that's what's coming. Like, you know, like everything that, and this is the thing about karma. People think that karma isn't real. And when they go through karma, they always recognize it. I'm telling you guys, this whole crazy extreme left-wing stuff, I called this 8 years ago. It's going to like flip. And then the next generation is going to be super fucking conservative. We're going to have to deal with that shit. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have to be fucking stubborn and experience it in their fucking self because, you know, they don't like to learn. And then my grandmother, she'd say, you know, she'd like, let him learn. Like, you know, oh, you put your hand in this. No, he didn't listen. Let him learn. He'll learn. Like, they try to help you. They try to warn you. But if you don't want to fucking listen, it's like, all right, I need to learn. Like, all these people are happy. They're so happy this guy got shot in the throat, right? Like, oh, fucking evil. Now they're all losing their jobs. Now they're getting canceled. Now all the shit that they fucking said, they did to everybody else the last 8 years is coming back on them. They can't handle it. It's like they didn't learn through love. They didn't learn through acceptance. They didn't learn through people trying to talk to them. Now they're going to fucking learn. Because now everybody's, like, disgusted. Like, this super far, like, weirdo left people. Everyone's like, oh, fuck this. Like, it's, like, fucked up. It proves my point. You can't love someone or respect someone out of evil, out of being like just anti-life. Because life, live backwards is evil. If you take the word live and put it backwards, it's evil. So what is evil other than going against what's alive? And if you fucking worship death, you're a fucking evil piece of shit. Like, and you're gonna see it. It's fucked up. People don't learn. Like, I don't know how many of you guys were watching me in the martial arts channel, But if you want to see some crazy shit, watch the War Angel streams, because I predicted all this stuff. But I don't know how much you've watched my martial arts channel, how much shit I've dealt with. There's like gang stalk, like, community stalking, because when people say gang stalking, they think of like these fucking weirdos. I think the fucking government's sending like fucking spaceships to fucking beam shit into their head and like weirdos honking their horn. No, I'm talking about like organized groups of people threatening to kill me, ruin my business, fucking, fucking with me all the time, fake accounts, making fucking fake accounts with me, fucking monitoring my shit, like all kinds of crazy shit. And, no matter how many times in the last 25 years on the internet I've tried to do the respectful Buddhist fucking martial art thing, it never works. They see it as a weakness. You know what I mean? The only thing they understand is like, I'm going to break your fucking face if you don't leave me alone. Now they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, that's what bad people understand. They don't want to be nice, And the fact that you're being nice to them makes them hate you more because they know they don't deserve it. It's fucking wild. So, it is what it is. Let's see what this is. Oh, actually, fuck around and find out. There was this one fucking guy, indefensible fucking reject martial art guy. And, these groups, they sent him after me, after all these other groups. There's like so many groups of people fucking with me. And 3 months, I tried the conflict resolution thing. I said, hey, man, come to the Discord, man. We'll be friends. I'll bring you on the live stream. We can debate. You think this is fake or this is... We'll talk about it on the live stream. You can... Any question you want, I'll answer you. I'll even give you a free lesson so you can see what I'm doing. Fuck you, gang. I fight you. I'm like, okay, fine. And then 3 months of me trying to be nice and trying to do the right thing. And then finally he goes to him and he disrespects my master and says, oh, and I said, you know what? I fucking had it. Get on the fucking plane, I'll fucking break your face. Sign the death waiver and I'll fucking break your fucking face. And now it's like, no. The time it's 3 months of me being nice. You want to fight, let's fucking go. Like, now I'll fucking break your fucking shit. And I haven't heard from him since. Okay? Fucking crazy old man was going to my students' fucking page. That's not Pension United. Talking so much shit because the same forum sent him there. And for a month and a half, I'm like, sir. And finally I had to make a fucking video of an hour of me abusing him and his fucking friends and completely embarrassing them. Now it's quiet. This is what bullies understand. Like, it's I wish there was another way, Oh, that's why I got shadow banned, because I had a whole bunch of these podcast things, and my political views and everything. They know that too many people would follow me, so I got in trouble. thank you. Well, can't hear it. There we go. Why am I playing this Nintendo shit anyway? Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know, like, you know, I'm kind of breaking this fucking Switch doing that, which is why I try not to switch too many times when I'm just jamming on the live stream because I don't want to break my Switch. But it's kind of like falling apart. Let's play something else because this is like MIDI fucking. Is it fucking MIDI night? Okay, I got lucky. I got lucky at the end. I kind of figured out where I was. I was trying to match it. I was trying really hard, but you know, the speakers are kind of low, and I just suck. I got pretty close though. I got pretty close. I'll take that. Oh, it's a little stretching. I'm gonna keep going. Don't worry. YouTube is saying that I don't even have a single like on this stream. And if you guys don't know, they don't count views if they're not engaged. You have to hit the fucking like button. I'm fucking melting my fingers, preaching philosophies and shit. I don't get a single like. On bends, I think bends are cool like everything else. It's a tool, you know? I think that depends on what, you know, like I use them, but I use them so fast, I don't think people don't think I notice I'm using them. Oh, thanks. I mean, like, bends are cool. I mean, like, there's a thing that people say that boomer bends, like, you know, like, it depends, like, you know. Like, every vibrato is a bend, and I think, you know, any kind of, that's all of it's bending. And that's the thing about makes a guitar sound like a guitar. If you're not, like, manipulating the note, you're not really playing guitar. You know, you're just, like, you're doing something else. Like, the one thing that makes a guitar, you can do this. Like, you know, even if you're only doing a little bit, you have to do something to make it sound like a guitar. I don't even know what Gilmore bends are. Like, I'm really not, I don't know shit. Like, I was autistic, I got into music school on accident, and I just play. Let's make sure I'm in tune. Oh God. Oh God. We gotta fix that. We gotta fix that, sorry. That's just not acceptable. This is not acceptable. That's not right. Where's the good one? The happy one that makes the thing go? Is this it? Is this the happy one? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, we fixed. I know, okay, Pink Floyd, I know Pink Floyd, but I don't know what the bends are. I don't know shit. I taught at Sam Ash for fucking 10 years. And I just taught textbook stuff in like my own system of like mechanical playing. You know, I never learned anybody else's shit. Like I taught people how to read, but I never learned anybody else's stuff. Like the closest I ever got to it was like when they would play the videos on the screen, and I was like, okay, you could do that thing. And then I was like, oh, you could do, the thing's possible. But I never like ripped anybody off a one-to-one or learned anybody's like guitar licks. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't like a thing I ever did. Like I never learned like any solos of any guitar player. Like it was never a thing to me. I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, but it was never a thing. All right, now I know what key we're in, so we're still in there. You know, one of my students lent me a guitar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this guitar down for a minute, and we're gonna play this fancy guitar that I got. That I just popped the fucking string. Now here's the problem, it's tuned to fucking E. It's not my guitar, and people are gonna think I'm trying to rip off Yngwie Malmsteen, but I have it. Oh, a huge bend for 2 bars. Okay, hold on, now I gotta figure out where I am, because this is G sharp. Where the fuck is this? I was playing an A sharp, so now it's let's see if I can even do this now, because my brain's already keyed to fucking... Alright, try it. tuning to E is fucking, I can't do it. It really is hard for me because I'm so used to hearing it in D and transposing it that the notes are not where they're supposed to be. And it's really fucking me over. So, it's time to do surgery. This is a 9-gauge string right here. Oh boy. What is this? That's 56. What is this? What is this? 7 strings. Do I have an extra 9-gauge? Because I want to play with my halo. It makes me happy. Unless we're going to go back to playing death metal on my 7-string. God damn it, I'm going to have to open it. Ah! Is this one tuned to D? I think this one would be tuned to D. I haven't played this one forever. I only play 7-string. I don't need a baritone. Oh my god. I'll bust out the 7 strings. I'll supposed to play some fucking death, because that's really what I want to play. I just want to play fucking death metal. I want to play this fucking pussy bullshit. I do this because there's nothing else to do. But if it was up to me, I'd be playing death metal, black metal all day. Let's see, where's my baby? Let's try this one. This is my main guitar that I play with when I record my shit and do stuff. No tremolo, no fancy anything, just 7 strings, brutal fucking Satan's asshole. So that's the kind of shit I really play, is this fucking brutal, fucked up shit. If you actually want to hear me like really fucking play. Like all this soloing stuff I do for fun and exercise. Let's try finding some, I find a death metal backing track. Let's find that. I went and got all my guitars fucking done, and they didn't even fucking fix this toggle switch. I paid $600 to get 7 guitars fixed, and this fucking piece of shit, because he was jealous I got a fucking distribution deal, and he fucking still fucking junk in this fucking switch. enough for this guitar. No, I need like something really fucking evil. Like, this is like death metal drum track. Let's try this. Because we need something like disgusting for this guitar. What is this bullshit? Madness is infinite, you're past the point of return. Let's see how deep it goes. Okay. This is death metal? I don't think people know what death metal is. This is a joke. No, this isn't death metal. Death metal drum track. 200 stab wounds style. Is that a thing? That sounds scary. like 20 key changes for no reason. What's next? Triv Black Metal. Okay, what else we got? Any metal? I'm just playing random shit. I'm gonna go back to soloing in a second, but I have to fix my guitar string. So we're doing random death and black metal drum tracks right now. What's this? This is gonna have blast beats, I'm not doing it, hold on. That's not fast enough. We need evil. We need pure fucking like ass fucking melting fucking evil. Let's see. Black metal. Black metal drum track at, we need like 240 or something. Let's just say black metal drum. Blast beat, let's try that. Okay, try this one. We need like fucking like brutal, like, you know? By tomorrow, I'll do it all the fucking time. What's this fucking guy talking about? What's this shit? Let's find out. I don't know what that means. I just played by ear. Okay, hammer blast. The hammer blast. It's fucking lame. What's it? That's like. No, we need like fucking like disgusting like dark funeral blast beats. What is this bullshit? I'm gonna have to do it myself because they don't fucking have any good like really scary drum tracks. Mayhem black metal. Okay, let's try this one. Let's try this one. You gotta see, have you ever seen me play drums? I have a drum set right here. I was actually gonna play drums tonight. I'll shit on these fucking guys. I will fucking destroy all this shit on YouTube. I only play death metal and black metal on drums, but I will shit on them. There's videos of me on YouTube playing drums. I'll fucking shit on these guys. Like there'll be nothing left. I will absolutely fucking destroy their fucking anuses. I can't now, it's too late. But maybe tomorrow I'll come on early. As long as I can't play it loud like after 10 o'clock. That's the problem. Let's do one more solo. I'll try it with this guitar. And we'll call it a night, it's getting late. I think I just got the fucking text like, go to sleep. Uh-oh. My number one fan is going to sleep. It's like, you're so sexy. You're so sexy. Thank you, bear, baby boo. Alright, I haven't played a solo on this guitar in 6 months. There's no whammy bar. But I don't feel like changing the string right now, so I'm gonna deal with it. Let's do this the right way. If we're gonna do it, oh Jesus, don't break anything. Let me tune it properly, because I was just playing by fuck all. That's what we do here. So let's actually tune this fucking thing, instead of me being an asshole and just bending the notes into tune. It's close. Why am I making you listen to that? Jeez. It's an electronic tune, I don't have to hear it. It was really close. But they're all a little flat, which is why I was able to bend them up into tune. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, ready to go. Give it a little juice. I mean, I like playing with the whammy bar though. Like, I don't like, I got so used. Come on, give me the last bit of the fucking jizz. You piece of shit. Come on. Come on. I'm cheap, but I don't want to fucking open the bottle. Come on, all of it. Give me all of it. Squirt all over me, bitch. All right. There we go. All right, you ready? Is anybody even watching this? Or am I just thinking about myself, talking shit to myself? There we go. Okay. Oh, we got somebody watching the shit show. Okay. Yeah, people don't even say thank you or good night anymore. They're so antisocial. Fucking YouTube. It's been like this since the apocalypse on my gaming channel, and then I got banned everywhere the day before the 2020 election because I have a big mouth. So I'm just surviving the shadow banning until fucking Orange Cheeto God King Emperor Praise Keck decides to fucking go after these media companies, what they did. And I have a fucking multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Like, when the shit gets out, I wouldn't be surprised if I fucking wind up getting to sue everybody. I'm just trying to survive till then. Well, it's just us. I don't have to worry because I haven't played this guitar in a while, so let's see if I can pull this off with no whammy bar. Guess up, I'm trying. Remember it's a 7-string.
Yeah, I got fucked.
I tried to fade out. I tried to fade out with the fucking thing. Why would they put a fade out on a jam track? It's so stupid. That was hard because, like, trying to make sure I see the same key with the 7-string, I feel like everything jumped over. Tony! What the hell are you doing here, brother? How you been, man? I haven't seen you in a fucking minute. I popped the string of my other guitar, and I'm not fixing it tonight, so playing with this fucker. How you been, Tony? Awesome, man. I almost fucking died. I got really sick. But, you know, I'm still fucking here doing that. So. Oh, shit, nice. Yeah, I've only been doing 2, and well, 1 week I do like 2, and the next one I do 6, and the next one I do 2, and then it's 6. It's been fucking crazy. But then after that, I'm fucking wiped out. I got so sick. So I only got up to do classes, and that was it. And I'm teaching 2 classes tomorrow. Have a shot with Tony. Nice to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm gonna do one more jam, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Salud. I actually know Tony in real life. Yeah, Tony's a badass. Tony does the ninja sticks. He does that ninja stick stuff. He even taught me some ninja sticks. But that's how we stay alive, man. Like, if we don't keep fucking moving, we're gonna be old fucking lazy bastards like everybody else and die. So it's like the only thing that keeps us alive is we have to keep going. Like, if it wasn't for my cat, honestly, if it wasn't for the cat and the fact I had to teach classes, I'd be dead 3 times the last 5 years. The fucking dog, before he died, like, bro, I was on my deathbed. If it wasn't for me having to climb down the stairs to walk that fucking dog, I would be dead. You know? I just, whatever. Yeah, Tony does Filipino martial arts. It's pretty good stuff. Take care, Tony. I'm going to sleep after this anyway. After this, I'm going to sleep. I'm really just fucking around. I gotta teach tomorrow, like fucking 9 or some shit. But you know, we'll finish the shop for Tony. Thank you, Tony, for stopping by. It was nice to see you. And I hope your kung fu goes well. Wait, what did you say? You'll be 70? Jesus Christ. I thought you were still like 65 or something. Jesus Christ. You know, God bless, man. I hope you live another fucking 30 years like that. I pray that I'm in as good shape as Tony is at 70 years old. Let me fucking tell you. Like, seriously. All right, Tony, you have a good night, my man. You know, 70 years old. I can't believe how long I've known Tony. Like, I didn't realize he was that old now. Because when I met Tony, he was in his 50s. I'd be like, you know, like, Jesus Christ. Good night, my man. I finished the shot, called it a night. I popped the string of my good guitar. I mean, this is my real guitar, but I can't do the fancy solo stuff. You know? Tony came to say hi. Ryan came to hang out. Fucking came to fucking get some brotherly love. It was a good stream. You know? So, on that, let's end it on a good note. All right, boys. Human Sensei, love you. Thanks for your presence. Practice of gratitude. I'll probably come on tomorrow because, you know, I got nothing else to do. I'm not going out. See you guys later. You know what, Ryan? I may come on early. I'll play some blast beats if you like that kind of stuff. You have to pay attention. Make sure you have the fucking notifications on all, because I can only play blast beats till 10 p.m. So I'll come on early and I'll go and just fucking blast the shit out of everything. All right, man.